as far as different sectors is concerned, and we looked at some of the conditionalities which we used to impose on each of the FDI sectors. And wherever it was considered unnecessary, some of those conditionalities were removed or waived off. Many sectors have been brought into the automatic route. And now we don't have any illustrations of cases pending indefinitely before the FIPB. In fact, in our recent meetings and bilaterals that we had in Canada and the United States, the Secretary of the Department of Economic Affairs, who couldn't make it because of a late flight, and I were pleasantly surprised when some of the investors told us that now when they've tried to come and push for early permissions, they've just got to respond that this is not required because in the normal course, it doesn't take any unnecessary time itself. 90% of the FDI coming into India today is on the automatic route itself. This additionally has been aided by the fact that a large number of policy changes which have taken place have added to the ease of doing business in India. Our ranking both in the ease of doing business as also in the global competitive index has moved up significantly in the last 2 years. And this has been aided by a large number of policy initiatives which have been taken by the Government of India. I think what is extremely important is to note that not only are these changes taking place, but every significant decision which has been taken is aimed in one direction, that is to promote economic activity, to make it more investment friendly. And the result of that is obvious. I think the other silver lining seems to be that the states have also become extremely competitive. And therefore a large number of regional governments in India are also becoming increasingly investment friendly, and each of their proposals is intended to attract investment and make themselves more and more competitive. We in India have learned that notwithstanding the fact that there is a contraction as far as global flows are concerned world over, at least by domestic reforms, we can to a large effect neutralize the impact of otherwise a global slowdown itself. I do believe that there are trends in the world today which on the surface do indicate that the world is increasingly moving towards, at least that part of the developed world is moving towards protectionism. These worries are real. And they are real because of the fact that if developed countries see a trend of protectionism, the spillover impact of those policies on other parts of the world could be extremely adverse. Brexit was repeatedly referred to, but I was extremely pleasantly surprised with the analysis which participants in the economy and those managing the economy of the United Kingdom now had an analysis to give. When we met them and also in their presentations they said, please do not interpret it as any form of protectionism because our attitude towards and our policy towards open trade would continue. Don't confuse taking back control with restricting trade. The nature of decision making will be different, but the openness to trade will remain. The other illustration which was mentioned is the tenor of the debate going on in the United States of America. I think the fears are real because it's increasingly becoming more and more protectionist. But as a participant in democratic elections, my own experience has been that some statement made during the elections, the burden of governance suddenly subsequently brings about a change. It's happened in the elections world over, including the United States in the past also. The tenor of the debate is more protectionist during the elections and much less once you get back to business as usual. And therefore we'll have to keep our fingers crossed this time and hope that the tenor of free trade returns back once the heat of elections itself is over. I'm sure the experience of today's seminar itself amongst the BRICS nations and what we are going to be discussing from today evening onwards in Goa, ultimately resulting in the Conference of Heads of Governments and the policy declaration which will come thereafter, will go in the direction of promoting much greater trade between the BRICS countries, much greater flow of investments between each other, and also flow of investments from other parts of the world into our policy itself, because there is still a lot of infrastructure gap which a large number of our BRICS countries still have to fill up. I am certain that today's proceedings in the course of the day that we have in Mumbai and thereafter in Goa will be extremely fruitful in this regard. Thank you very much.